Just I was listening to you and Lance talking about the cover system. It was
Yeah,
actually the
man.
other day. I was playing D&D with some buddies of mine, and so that's a lot of bunkers. I was playing some D&D with some buddies of mine. I know in D&D they have the half cover and the 3/4 cover.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah.
something you've ever thought about, like having different, I guess, like layers of covers where a tree is maybe half cover and a rock is a fuller cover?
Yeah,
Like
so
that.
it's so like Mud and Blood is highly like influenced by Warhammer and D&D mechanics, and it's already in there. So, but the way I translate this into the game mechanics is like, so half cover would be, you know, a stone wall will offer 50% saving throw, right?
Okay.
So
I knew there was differences in cover because we've discussed it before.
Yeah.
But you and Lance talking about it about the idea of having. Because again, if you've played something like Siege before, which I'm pretty sure you have, you know that Peeker's advantage is a thing. Sometimes you think you're in cover and you're not because the guy can see you because he's got a different angle.
Yeah.
I was thinking if there's a way, like for example, within the those D&D mechanics, like you were saying, that we could implement it, but it is in the game, I think so.
Yeah. So there's a difference between concealment and cover, right? So concealment will, you know, prevent the line of sight, but cover will prevent you to get hit. So you can, so you. Man, maybe the game is unfair.
Maybe. Just maybe.
Oh yeah, I see that. You're getting pounded.
So for example, those sandbags there, they count as cover, not concealment, for example?
Exactly. But they count as concealment if you're pinned down
I just spawned.
So if you're pinned down behind a sandbag wall, you're going to be concealed. But if you're standing, you're not concealed anymore, right?
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
So how do I take out an HMG bunker with an HMG truck in front of it?
That's what you call a bad day.
I would get a Siggy right now.
Yeah, I think
I can't. They're all fresh recruits. I just started, man.
Is this guy that's been promoted, is he dead?
Yeah, he dead. He got headshot.
Ah, shit. Of course, the only guy that gets shot is the guy that's promoted, huh? Yeah, it's gonna be a bad day for you, Russ.
Yeah, this isn't exactly a fun position to try and take, an HMG bunker with an open field. May I mention a double HMG bunker with an open field?
Oh yeah, it's just beautiful. I love it. That's true.
That's the thing. I can't do that because there's two of them. One will fire left and one will fire right.
At least you're not taking fire from the bunker yet.
Yeah, because I'm out of range.
Yeah,
I'm waiting
so that's
to get
good.
a Siggy.
And so you can probably camp that sandbag wall and do the long fight.
Yeah, that's what I'm currently doing.
Let me check what's going on with Lance.
Lance is having his own MG troubles, it looks like.
Oh yeah. That's beautiful. You're lucky that this MG is not on the other side of the river, because you would have been picked off. See, I could put the AI to move the MG sometimes. When I was doing an AI in Mud and Blood before, like I broke the game and could not update it anymore, was that the AI would get metadata regarding the kill zones for the player and the AI. So the AI, if they would identify an area that was particularly good for killing the players, they would capitalize their positioning around that area while trying to cover their flanks.
Oh, that one enemy rifleman is really accurate. He's killed 2 people and already shot a 3rd one.
That's a K98.
My screen shook. Where?
And he's right, like standing in the open, like, you know, defiant. Oh, and he get mortar fire now. I love it.
I'm taking heavy artillery fire. So
this game hates you.
I'm gonna go with double special forces.
Look at you guys. You don't believe in the Siggies, huh?
Not why I'm going with double special forces. I need to take 2 bunkers at the same time. I need some fast boys.
See, my first pick, I'm a very predictable individual. My first pick's always a gunner, just because, for me, an infantry section needs a gunner. And then my second is Siggy all the time. And then after that, then I'll tailor towards like what I got in front of me. But
I agree. I usually also like to go gunner as well, just because I feel like you really need that basic fire when everyone else has just
yeah,
rifle.
absolutely. And I believe gunners are target switching in MnB3 if they're static, so that's pretty good. Like that lays that, like, that gives you the exchange of fire advantage.
Buddy, you need to keep moving. Why are these guys panicking? You're not the ones getting fired at. This guy's over here bravely being shot at by every known person on Earth, and these two are falling back.
Rust definitely loves his desperate pushes.
Well, see, the last thing they expect is a push.
Fair enough.
And that's the thing, Herb. I keep getting attacked by artillery, like here. If I'm fighting artillery, I need to move up, or I'm never going to kill them.
That's true. Mortar are like the anti-campers, that's for sure. So it won't get you right away, but at one point it'll get you, that's for sure.
Yes.
It makes the asymmetric kind of like mechanics of the game very interesting, because you're like, yeah, that's what I do. I just camp behind my wall and I just chill. But then you're getting mortar fire on you, and then this is a whole new game. And then you're rolling the dice.
Keep that guy moving. Keep his chance to be hit low.
Let me see what's going on with Lance. Oh, what a cluster fluff. I see a lot of blood in open space.
Come on, Siggy, you need to get a level up. This Spec Ops is a -1 morale, but he hasn't fallen back yet. Oh, well, I just gotta get by a grenade. Hey, Herb.
Yeah.
You know that that Spec Ops?
Yeah.
He doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, he got vaporized.
Yeah, this guy right here threw a grenade and hit him directly in the face.
I love it.
That's a common side effect of being dead. He's that 1 morale.
Yeah, like you're stuck in the middle of the open. He's charging MG. It's you guys are probably not super happy. That sniper, yeah, that sniper's probably your salvation, Lance. As he taking a knee amidst the brains and lungs and hearts.
Right, time to begin the plane strikes.
Oh, hold on. I want to see that.
Oh, my Siggy just got hit by a mortar. That interrupted him. Well, rip my ability. He got interrupted by a mortar. Gotta wait another 120 seconds before I finally hit that HMG nest
2
again.
minutes, and a lot of things can happen.
I need scouting.
Oh, Sirat, nice.
That's actually quite useful.
Hopefully he doesn't get shot and lose his skull again.
those mortars are so accurate. Congrats, you gave the wrong guy.
Oh, reinforcement, back up. Yeah, that's great. Good stuff.
Also, my plane strike just arrived for some reason.
Because you made your so the call got canceled, but if you make another call, then the two calls gonna stack. It's kind of a bug.
At this close for a range, this HMG might actually win versus the Core 98K. Yep, I figured.
There you go. This is what we were talking about just the other day with the wounded Germans.
Len's still stuck on that river. Oh yeah, you got it, buddy. Two snipers, one scout. That's a good combo, actually.
What's maximum range on the mortars, or like 2 screens or something?
Yeah, like they're fairly so I think it's unlimited.
Okay.
But the fact is, like, if the further away the mortar is, the wider the radius is for the impact, right?
Okay.
So if there is a German that's has eyes on you, and there's a mortar that is deployed behind him, he's gonna relay that information. So as soon as the mortar guy gets the information, he's gonna deploy his tube and he's gonna start pounding your location. But you'll see that if you move away from that location, the mortar, if he doesn't get updated by any observer, is still gonna think that you are there, and that former position is still gonna be
I got
founded.
reinforcements again.
Halfway through with reinforcements. And is it instituted into the game? It's been a while since I haven't played. That if you stay in the same position and you keep getting updated, will the shots be more accurate?
No, so
Why, hello there, good sir. You just popped into existence.
the mortars, the radius of the impact of the mortars is always determined by the distance. So they won't like tighten their grouping on you. However, I would say the probability for you to get hit right over time
is greater.
is
Okay.
yeah, exactly. So that would simulate that to some extent in the algorithm. But I find that if I was tightening the circle for the mortar, that would give like the player like no fighting chances. And mortars are shit generally speaking for accuracy in real life. They're just they're just annoying, and
This is a funny
it
little
just press the
engagement.
enemy, especially a 60 millimeter. Like it's just you pretty much, it's called soften the enemy. You pretty much soften them. You flush them out their defensive position. You damage them a little bit. It's just mortar is just an instrument of obnoxiousness on a battlefield.
Gotcha.
It's not really for kills.
Really? He got killed inside the bunker in one hit?
Oh.
That was my own plane. My plane killed me.
Nah, I think that. Oh yeah, maybe.
It looks like the German came in and just executed him, but maybe it was the plane. I can't
It wasn't the plane because it didn't give a
think
damage number. The plane got him.
I don't know, man. I think you're immune to explosives inside of a bunker, buddy.
That's a strafing. It's technically bullets.
Yeah, but strafe is considered as explosives.
Small explosives.
It is?
Yeah, yeah.
Good to know.
So that's why they can give, and they have like a tiny frag radius.
I like my little bunker I took over here. The bunker bungalow.
You're holding good. Notice, guy, as the inside of a bunker's furniture is randomly generated. This is an overly complicated feature to
small details necessary.
Yeah, exactly. So it's that's what makes, like, I don't know, not flexing, but that's what makes MnB3 awesome and polished. Is like see, like this bunker has a different like furniture inside, like a little bench and a crate, and this one has a sling and 3 crates, one open, one closed, 2 open.
Come on, dude, help him reload that LMG.
I like that about the houses too. The houses had that feature. That was a good ad for sure.
Yeah, I like it. I really want it to be like to push it even more. So like villages would be like always different no matter what. You don't have like that prefab feeling.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like we're having an LMG battle. Which bunker will hit the other bunker first?
Germ. Oh yeah, look at Lance's game, man.
Oh wow.
Oh God. What's going on in your game, Lance?
I love it. That's awesome.
Lance just stumbled upon the German Army motorized corps over there.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are you pinned at 78? Wow, I got hit again inside the bunker.
Oh yeah, they're charging. And there's an MG42 covering their advance too. Wow, that's beautiful. Fucking beautiful. Love it. See? That AI, man, it's look at this beautifulness. That's awesome. I don't care. I don't care what you're saying.
Oh God, they're artillery striking me.
I love it.
I'm in a bunker. I'm okay.
Oh yeah, you're like you got. Oh yeah, they're gonna swipe you off that map. There's probably a German that got hit by that explosion that wasn't detected, and now he's bleeding to death.
Yeah. Because the roads, I remember that the roads were always on the topmost layer.
Yeah, I mean they're under the rocks and trees, but they are. Yeah, I wanted people to clearly see the roads because they can be game breakers as we can see right now.
Yeah.
Another one. Well, Lance, what do you got? What's your solution?
Don't leave the bunker, dude. Don't leave
You
the bunker.
you got a division in front of you. Oh yeah. Oh, it's beautiful. This is. I hope you're filming this because that's awesome.
Hey, Herb, here's a fun thought. Why is there a timer on proning? I got shot again. God dang it.
Hold on, Russ. Hold on. Let me crank your volume a little bit. I just want to hear you, buddy. What is your question, Russ?
Why do you have a cooldown on laying prone?
Oh, that's not laying prone. It's because like it's
Oh, God dang it.
it's a skill, right? So I don't want people to to do it, then like do like pepper pot. So I want this to be more like of a static move. So like I don't want guy to lay prone, move 5 meters, lay prone again, move 5 meters, lay prone again. So I want
Isn't that
you to.
exactly how an actual machine gun would work, though?
Oh, I don't know, but if you do this as a section commander to your machine gunner, he's gonna hate your guts, man. I'm telling you, because it's gonna be a bad day. The guy's gonna spend 4,000 calories in a day, man. So I would say, as a section commander, from my humble experience, you do like when you do your baptism of the ground, as we say. So when you look at the ground for the first time, you already identify like every 100 meters where you're gonna put your machine gunners, and they're gonna do a bound of about 100 meters. So it is not like a bound every like 5-10 seconds. It's more like they bound to that terrain, they occupy it, now they cover that area, and that real estate now you own it because the machine gunner is covering it. And then since you own it, then it allows you to move your squad. And then once you move your squad, then you go to the next step. So your squad establish a fire base, and then you're gonna move your machine gunner to the second location. And this would be around a 2-minute process. That's how I view it.
Wow, I just lost both of them inside the bunker.
Because do I have to play to tell you to let you know like oh it's done or what? Know what I'm saying? These are
Well,
like
what I was
two
gonna say
good
is,
model.
I think a good
these are-
example of that, Herb, is there was a mission in I think Afghanistan. A combat controller was operating with a group of Navy SEALs on a mountain, and like, yeah, you can clear out 4 DSHK bunkers by yourself, can't you?
I mean, you need like that round that's called what is it called, the Paladin or the Excalibur, which is like a 10 grid artillery round. I'd say that would probably be it.
The combat controller ended up taking down 2 bunkers with his M4.
Wow, man,
He then died.
that's awesome.
Yeah, that person got a Medal of Honor because
Obviously, yeah.
his team of Navy SEAls was pinned down by those machine gun bunkers and basically like, command, what the heck are you doing? And they're like, you guys can kill them, you're Navy SEAls. And it's like, you do not understand.
Yeah, the
That is
Dishka,
4
man.
heavy machine guns.
Yeah, the rounds of a
in
Dishka is the
bunkers.
size of your thumb, man. So when those angry bees are coming at you, you know, it
Not to
makes you
mention
think.
they dropped them on the top of a avalanche in a hailstorm, basically,
What
in the middle of the mountains.
is it? Is it like the Roberts Hill or something like that? Is that the story of Roberts Hill or something?
Something like it. I have a book around here somewhere on
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Yeah, a lot of bad stuff happened that day.
Yeah, and the lone combat controller basically just gave Cass on himself because he knew he was very obviously covered in enemies. So it's like, you know what? Bomb me. He's like, wait, you sure? It's like, yes. Bomb me. I think he called it about 10 meters away from himself, support from an AC-130 overhead.
Damn. Yeah, the seals they like their specters when they go out. That's for sure. I don't want to talk shit about nobody, but if they don't have the specters, sometimes they don't want to come out. I may or may not have been a witness of that shit. But anyways, they're pretty good professional dudes. But it's a fun fact.
As long as they aren't the UN. Otherwise known as badmouth PMCs and then ask for help from them. It's like, you guys are awful people. Can we pay you for help?
Hey, PMCs are not awful.
I never said they were. I'm just saying that the UN is a little bit weird on that front because they're like, yeah, PMCs are awful. Now, how about you go ring them up, give them like 10 million
is the
bucks, tell them
thing.
come out.
I was a PMC for 2 years in Jordan, as a matter of fact. Actually, when I met Lance in Germany.
So I was correct then, Lance. I said, when you said Herb was probably a mercenary, I said, oh, he's probably a PMC then.
PMC is a fancy word for mercenary, I'd suppose.
It is. Like I said, it's like saying sanitization specialist for a janitor. You're spicing up the term.
Yeah, yeah. Or ground maneuver technician for infantry. I wasn't doing like fancy shit. I was just teaching Rangers in Jordan.
Yeah, that is a common issue with the UN is they'll go into a conflict zone and be like, you PMCs, you only ever do stuff for money. You never help people, and then they give the money to go help them.
Yeah, when it comes out of the ROEs of the UN, it's convenient to have like PMCs where you can have like what do we call tactical dissociation, right? Oh, it's not us; it's the PMCs. Yeah, they have their own ROEs.
I'm gonna say there's also the fact that the UN, their combat tactics are a bit dated.
Oh no, like so Canadians speak for us. We went to Mali, and our tactics was the same. That well, I mean, to some extent, but we're fighting coin. We're doing coin ups, right? So counterinsurgency in Mali as well. So everything we learned in Afghanistan, we applied as UN in Mali. But the ROEs, rule of engagement, were a little bit more limiting, right? So you cannot preemptively neutralize an enemy as a UN. You have to make sure that that person will actually arm, kill, either like a neutral person or like an ally before you engage that person.
Yeah.
So in Afghanistan, you see the enemy, you confirm his identity, and then you drop him, right? So
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. The UN's rules of engagement are not good for the situation the UN is currently doing. Which
yeah,
is,
especially Africa, which is like a shit show, right?
yeah,
Tactically speaking,
particularly
you
like
got
places like Libya.
yeah,
They're like, hey, we're fighting people who are literally indistinguishable from one another.
yeah,
All
no,
right, so
yeah, they look
let's
like
take a long
non-combatants.
10-minute long process to verify whether they're friend or foe. They're shooting at us, yes, but are they a friend or a foe?
Yeah, they could be the militia that you just paid a lot of money, but they're just confused because that's sometimes they do that and they're shooting at you. And then once you start opening fire and you drop 10 of them, and you get really pissed at you. It's like, well, you guys were shooting at us first. You know what I mean?
I think a good example of that is I think there was one engagement in Afghanistan where the U.S. ended up having 3 Abrams knocked out
Wow.
by friendly Afghanistan forces. And
Wow.
the U.S. only had those 3 tanks get knocked out because they knew they were friendly forces and were trying to radio them, hey, friendly, stop shooting.
Really? That's unfortunate.
The, the, the
I'll be
tank,
right back. I'll be
I
right
think
back, Russ.
the support squad up front in that area was more than miffed at the Afghanistan forces for like a year because they had to. Mm, not all media, but some of it is stories I've heard. I know a lot of people who are into this kind of thing. Like, for example, you probably noticed on one of my tabs was the Battle of Samar. Have you seen that battle? This this will probably be one you would really enjoy. I'll message it to you. Yeah, I did. I think you would really enjoy reading that one if you haven't read it. This was a naval battle in World War II, I think. Yeah. This was the engagement between Taffy 3. There was a group of light cruisers, like escort cruisers, a group of destroyers, and a group of destroyer escorts known as Taffy 3. Taffy 3, in an attempt to buy the rest of them time, engaged multiple Japanese battleships, including the Yamato. Yeah, this was a good battle. though the men technically lost, they had both a tactical, like they had a tactical win. Like the general was like, "Hey, we understand you were never meant to win that battle. You did a great job." You know what I mean? And I think one of the funniest things is the enemy reported that one of the cruisers was a heavy cruiser because it had killed so many Japanese cruisers. Well, they did lose in the end, but they didn't lose, so to speak, because they took a lot more enemies with them before they went down.
That's what they call a strategic victory and a fair
Yeah.
victory for the Japanese.
Particularly because I think in that battle, one of the destroyers managed to even get so close that they hit a Japanese battleship multiple times with torpedoes, knocking it out for basically the rest of the war. That was the big thing that really made it a strategic victory. I don't remember that in particular, though. That might have been a different battle. But I know for sure that one of the cruisers here got reported as a heavy cruiser by the Japanese. Wait, what is it? No. Mm. Here it is. Howell, damaged by 6-inch and 14-inch shells, fired at and missed the battleship Congo, hit multiple times, and was boxed in by Japanese battleships and cruisers, all of which firing at her. Herman entered the fray before Sprague's second attack order, Herman launching torpedoes at the Japanese heavy cruiser Hagaru. Hagaru evaded them and fired multiple salvos at the destroyer, and missed. Moving beyond the Japanese cruiser division, Herman came upon the battleships Congo, Yamato, and Nagato, firing her remainder torpedoes and 5-inch guns at the Congo. The destroyer then quickly came about and moved to a screening station on the starboard flank of the carriers. Despite the intensity of Japanese fire, the only damage aboard had been caused by shell fragments. The determined aggressive attacks of the 3 U.S. destroyers, coupled with the ongoing air attacks on his ships, tended to confirm Kurita's erroneous assessments that he was facing a strong carrier task force. The second U.S. torpedo attack would only strengthen this impression. So yeah, the destroyers and the cruisers basically held them back and even pushed them back further because they thought, oh god, we're getting overwhelmed by cruisers. In reality, it was just 7 ships who were really aggressive and really trying to push back to just buy time. But because they were so aggressive and they were taking out so many ships, the Japanese were basically just like, oh god, we found their whole navy, didn't we?
If I remember rightly, all the planes that they had on the escort carriers were barely any had real torpedoes because the escort carriers are designed to hunt submarines. So a lot of them just had like depth charges and things like that to use.
You hear the part out liked. Sprague ordered his screen to make a second torpedo attack. Shortly after, and his destroyer escorts also engaged. Samuel B. Roberts joined Herman and the badly damaged Howell. The 5 of them attacking individually. The hard-hit Johnson was also back in action, facing not only Japanese cruiser division, but most of the Japanese destroyers and the Japanese battleships. The US and Japanese ships zigzagged and exchanged intense gunfire at close range and torpedoes in melee-like conditions. Johnston, still able to lay down such a heavy fire on the Japanese cruisers, Haguro and Tone reported her as a heavy cruiser by 8:20 a.m. The U.S. escorts rejoined the escort carriers, laying smoke, and proceeded onto the task unit's southwesterly course. At 8:30, Hoel went dead in the water, listing to port with all of her engineering spaces flooded and her number one magazine on fire. Hoel began settling by the stern and her crew abandoned ship. So basically, the Hoel bought them even more time by just being like, yeah, even though we're flooding and on fire, let's just keep fighting in melee-like conditions until we fully sink. To the point where the pictures taken from the other cruiser are literally 3 ships side by side, with the Hoel stuck in the middle, firing in both directions at 2 enemy cruisers. Still not giving up. Here's another one. The carriers began firing single 5-inch guns under their fan tails at pursuers, though this fire had little effect on the Japanese heavy cruisers. The Kalen Bay and White Plains were able to score enough hits on the Japanese heavy cruisers. Significantly, a chance White Plains hit on Chokai caused enough damage aboard the latter for her to fall out of formation and fall prey to aircraft. So that's another heavy cruiser kill by a light cruiser. Smoke was laid, given the course and wind direction, did little to hide the carriers, all were hit by Japanese shells. The enemy's gunnery during this phase was not good, and the full effect of their armor-piercing shells was wasted on the unarmored U.S. vessels because they were overpinning. Alright, Gambier Bay on the exposed point flank of the formation began receiving Japanese hits, including from the Congo, which was like 16-inch battleship guns, which started fires on her flight and hangar decks. She then received hits below the waterline in her forward port engine rooms, flooding severely, reducing the escort carrier's speed, and she dropped behind formation. Johnston attempts to draw fire away from Gambier Bay, but the Japanese concentrated fire on the carrier, and Gambier Bay was dead in the water and sinking. Ordered abandon ship at 10 minutes later. Yeah, you get the idea? Essentially, despite being outgunned, outnumbered, and all of that, they continued to fight for roughly, I think, an hour. And because they held out so long, the Japanese actually had to withdraw as Taffy 3 was gaining an advantage. Although it had lost the majority of its ships. Earned an upgrade. I'm guessing that's gonna be... Man, you really use officers, don't you? I don't often use officers. That's fair. I'm probably gonna pop off. All right. See you around, Lance.